gospel concert, live recording.
Yes.
And in the middle of the session, the instrumentalist paused.
Yes.
And they were like, we're not continuing until our money is given to
Is
us.
given to us, yes.
And you know, there's a certain fear to the men of God which they bring. You have to respect them. But these guys were very firm on their feet and they're like, no, they switched up on everything.
Yeah.
Do you think that is right?
I have, I personally, we have done that to one of the biggest gospel artists in this country. Of course, I can't say the name, but
yes.
There's a time there was a concert, and after sound checking, and we are like, nope. You understand, yeah? It's because born agains are not born agains. They're born agains in some places, in some parts of their lives, you know, going to church, showing up, you know, showing that they dress well, you know, and stuff like that. But deep inside, they're not born again. So as musicians, we've been really shown a very bad side by, first of all, pastors, artists, you know, different team leaders. You know, they will use you. They will use your gift. They will use your talent, and they won't deliver on their side. You will deliver on your side, but on their side, they won't deliver.
Hello, all our people who have been following the podcast, and yeah, this is Solomon Palanyi. Welcome to the LTAC podcast, and thank you so much for all those who have been following. And you can join the community and support in different ways. You can like, subscribe, share, and comment, and join this community. I know you will be blessed. And today, without wasting any more time, we have a very iconic man with us, and we are privileged to have him. He has really been so instrumental. He has worked on a number of very big projects, and I am so really amazed by his humility and how he does his things. He has really left a very big legacy. I will not speak so much about him because there's really so much. Good to have you.
Thank you.
How has been life?
Life has been good.
Yeah.
With Christ, life can't go wrong. You know. Yeah.
The people who are there would want to know. I know I've not best even introduced you. The people would want to know, who is Sammy?
My name is Sam Mwesigwa.
Yes.
And I am a last born. I think I'm too old to say I'm a last born, but yeah. Anyway, that's if my parents don't think of anything. But yeah, for now, yes. People know me as Sammy. I think around 2015, I've always volunteered with Scripture Union Uganda for the longest time. And back then, when I was in high school, and we used to go to ministries and visiting hostels, we had gone to visit a boys' hostel, and I was with a friend of mine called Isaac. And when Isaac was introducing me, he was like, "This is Sami. He's very cool. His name starts with X." So I was like, "Oh, okay."
I love that.
yeah. So I didn't come up with the name, you know. Isaac came up with it, and everybody started calling me that because at SU there was some other gentleman called Uncle Sammy. So they were like, "This is Sammy." So I was like, so I changed my social media to that, and
actually it's a bit difficult to pronounce. Zami or Sami?
Yeah.
You sometimes get confused.
Yeah. At first people will be like Zami, and I'm like, anyway, it's Uganda, but yeah, it's more like Sami.
Sami.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What is music to you? Because I've seen you on a number of very big projects.
Yes.
You're really a very big man, and I saw you one time with when the Benny Hinn was here.
Yes.
And they were calling only big men there. Not small people.
Well, I mean, I get caught up in such things by the grace and the mercies of God. Yes. What is music to me? Music is a language. Music is a language to me. It's I would actually say it's a prayer language. It's a form of communication that goes beyond the physical. If I want to speak to your heart, I will play from my heart, and I'll speak to your heart. So that's the language that only the heart can understand, and it may not really be words. You know, the people who call me to work with them, they've never had me sing.
Yes.
They've had me play, but there's so many other people who play that they can choose to work with. So it's that language that I speak from within through my hands to the guitar. It's the language that talks to their inner spirit. So I would say music is more like it's a language.
It's a language that speaks.
It's a language that speaks beyond the physical, I would say.
So, how did that journey start? Cause, and how did you, with a variety of
Yeah.
instruments,
Right.
how did you choose the
I
guitar?
mean, I've tried all of them. But the fact that my dad and my mom, they used to be singers in a church choir, so I don't want to say it's inborn because I can't sing, you know. So, but growing up, I picked up interest in the piano, so I tried to learn it, and it became a little bit hard for me, you know, because our church had only the piano, so they would not let you touch it, you know, because you could spoil it or something like that. So every time after service, I would go to the guy, ask him to teach me something, but you know, I didn't really get that far. So one day I had my neighbor. He was a grown-up guy, and I had him play. So when I had him play, I ran from home to his house. He was in the compound with some other people, and I told him, "Can you teach me?" He's like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Okay." So he was playing Kadon Kamu. So I'm like, "Yeah." Then we can start. So I started pushing him, and I started to go to his place every single day. He would go to work and find me seated on his door, waiting. Yeah, sometimes he would come when he's very tired, and he would tell me not to downtown, just give me 5 minutes with the guitar. So he would leave it with me there, then I would just be with it, you know.
So your heart
And
was literally attracted to the guitar.
that's how it started. I was in my P7 back.
Wow.
Yes,
So you started playing
yes,
in your P7 back.
yes, yes.
That is interesting.
Yeah, that's I don't know how many years are those now. 14, 15? I don't know. Yeah, I think.
So your family is literally musical.
None of them is doing music. But I mean, when I was growing up, you know, everybody was saying my sister, the one I follow, can't sing. You know, my dad can't sing. My mom.
I think you can sing, just that you have never tried
At
out
home, yes, I do at home,
in the
but
bathroom.
yeah, not even just in my house. I do sing, you know, but once I move out of the house, my voice doesn't sound nice. I don't know why. I think the problem is with the house.
The problem is
Something
the
like that.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what has kept you so humble amidst the limelight, the success? Because the people I was meeting, they literally every musical person here in town knows you.
Yeah.
And you, when somebody approaches you, maybe from afar, they might think, ah,
Yeah.
I fear to talk to them. So what has kept you so humble?
You think I'm humble?
I'm basing on my experience.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, according to your, because I mean, some other people would not really see it the way you see it.
Oh yeah,
but,
exactly.
But I go by what you see because that's your perspective of me, and I really, if you think I am, then I really appreciate that. I come.
What do you think about yourself?
I think.
You're not humble.
I think I'm a normal person. I try to I try to keep in my lane. So I have had a very humble beginning. You know, I'm not one of those kids who are driven to school. I am one of those kids who walked to school. And I'm one of those kids who would go to school and just wait for lunch prepared at school. So having a humble beginning is what has kept me low. You know, I didn't go to a music school. I didn't get the chance. I didn't have all these privileges. You know. So there's no need for me to show off because I've now been on big stages. I've played for big people. I've played for big choirs. You know, it's to me doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real because where I am is not where I started from, and it's what I was doing back then that has taken me to where I am. So there's no need for me to adjust my status, the people I talk to, and how I react because I've changed positions. You know, it's easy to fall when you're standing. It's hard to fall when you're. Yeah.
Sure. And you've you've done a lot of projects. What are some of
Right.
the miracles, and specifically even in the line of what you chose,
Yes.
that the breakthroughs that you have been, the stages that you look at and you say,
Yes.
hey, I really have this experience.
Yes.
I really have also this experience. What are some of those big stages you've been in?
I mean, technically, uh, in our country we have, I would say we have two stages. We have the secular stage,
Yeah.
and it's not like out there in the world that they have MTV or they have Grammys where
Yes.
all the
Like
all the different
the
denominations
gospel.
come together. So I would say in the Christian world, and I'm so glad that God has kept me in the Christian world. By God's grace, I started working with just a few people, people who are already out there in music, and they were doing these things, and they kept on calling me as a young man. They kept on calling me for different gigs, small gigs, paying very little pennies and stuff like that. But the more I kept on appearing and showing up and being consistent with my work in my closet, people saw the potential in me. So and that's how now I got to be uh, um, noticed in the Christian world, and once I got noticed in the church area, then I started getting called on the stages. There's an artist coming from out. They need a band. Oh, we need a Christian guitarist. Ah, this guy can do well, and so that's how slowly I've been able to make it to. But it's working with a different.
Different people.
I was going to say small people, but like for example,
Humble
working with you.
beginnings. Yeah.
If I work with you, you will recommend if someone is looking for a guitarist for church. I'll be like, I know this guy. Then
Yes.
if those guys like what I do, then they will recommend me for their recording. If that recording is good, someone will be like, who is that guy who played? Then that's how it gets big, and that's how I've gotten to some of these stages. And I think the miracles that have come out of that is that I've gotten to actually know God more. That I actually do not need anything in the world, in the secular world. It's
So you gave up on the secular one,
sorry.
on the secular gigs.
Yeah, I did not give up on them for some reason. Because technically work, that's what I do. Sometimes we
Yes.
play in restaurants, you find yourself playing in bars,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But it's so rare for me to be on a secular concert.
Okay.
Not because I do not look for them, not because I can't play, but there's a way God will put you in a cave of Adullam just to
conviction.
protect you from Saul and and stuff like that. So that alone has opened my eyes to actually know God on a deeper level. That God can actually even still use you in the world, and you will still stay true to yourself and to Him, no matter who you work for. But then He will give you the will to choose who to serve.
Okay. People
To me,
have
that's a
this-
miracle.
It's a
That
miracle.
yeah.
And people have misconceptions
Yes.
with the instrumentals.
Right.
And some of the misconceptions is that you focus more on music than your spiritual growth.
Yes.
In fact, when you go in churches, they know musicians and instrumentalists as the most serious people.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the, even leaving alone that,
Yeah.
some other misconceptions that need to be corrected
Yeah.
that people know about instrumentalists?
Um, um, uh, First of all, the misconceptions that the church or the church leadership or churchgoers and members have about us, the musicians, has actually been caused by the church itself.
Yes.
I am a software engineer
Yeah.
by
Wow.
education, but I was so busy looking for money to pay my tuition so that I can do school. So I would do gigs to pay school.
Wow.
By the grace of God, I finished without a retake or anything. But I had not really put stuff in my head because I was never in class. I was always in rehearsals, So I ended up not really. I graduated, but I did not really put
In your all.
I did not really continue with what I studied.
Oh.
So I went more with music because it actually paid more, or it was more available back then, so it became my job. Yeah. But back then I was mostly based in church, and church is not going to pay you
Yeah, I wanted that. Yeah.
because
How do you
this is
separate
this is
ministry and work?
this is very controversial because musicians and church members keep arguing about it.
Yes.
Church is not going to pay you.
Yeah.
Pastors will keep telling you serve God, seek first the kingdom of God, and
God bless you. After
Jesus paid tax for some of his disciples. Why can't the church do that for us? We work in the church, we stay in the church, so that's how we end up being seen as people who are just looking for money. We do gigs, we do a first service here, do a second service there, we do a third service there. One, it's because we have become so good that people want to work with us. But two, again, at the end of the day, you want to do something for yourself and for your family.
yes.
Yeah. So as you seek the kingdom of God, you need to be wise and cunning as the serpent and know where to find what belongs to Caesar and give it to Caesar,
Yes.
because Caesar, you're not going to speak in tongues to give him what belongs to him. I am not going to go to the person. I'm like, hey, I need data, to go and do learn more other things. I will have to go and work if the church doesn't pay me. So that's how the church sees us. They see us as people who are hungry for money, but it's because some of us have made this our jobs, and it's the music.
You don't have anything
Yes,
else.
the gifts that God has given us that have opened up the doors for us. I thank God that the gift has opened doors for me, that I don't have to depend on any church. My church doesn't pay me even transport, but it's because I've reached that understanding that the gift I have can sustain me. God has
Yes.
given me the wisdom, and He has opened the doors for that gift to sustain itself.
How have you
I will.
separated it from ministry?
How do I separate? I have a church where I serve. I've grown up in two churches, One where I started playing guitar from. Okay, there's a church where my dad is a pastor. I left that when I was young. But then there's a church I grew up from.
Pastor's kid.
Yeah. Pastor's kid. So there's a church I grew up from after like my high school, So I've been there for a long time. Now, in that church, I do ministry.
No payment.
Because
no
one, I've understood God more from that church
Yes.
as well, and then I have a relationship. I have a personal relationship with the pastor himself. I can call him and I'm so much city steady. Agamba, oh, kali nkubirako ku Lwokubiri. Do you understand that kind of
Relationship.
not whereby you have to go through secretaries to reach to the pastor and tell them what's wrong with you. And so with that, I actually came to realize that this is my home. So go over there one way, sometimes they don't have to tell you to close the door of the house, because if someone left it open, thieves may come in. So sometimes they don't have to tell you to do that. You just force yourself to do it because it's your home, it's your house. So that's the thing about that's how I see ministry and work. So I have a church where I've grown up, where I've been for the longest time, and in that church, I do not have to be paid. I do not have to be pushed, or if I'm not around, I'll tell them, guys, I'm not around, and they will understand. But I will always make myself available to serve God in that church and to add value to God in the church. In any other places where I am called,
It's work.
now that's work. Because you need my expertise. You need my expertise. God does not need only me to play in all the churches in Kampala. He has so many people he can use.
I want to ask a question. There was a gospel concert, live recording.
Yes.
And in the middle of the session, the instrumentalist paused.
Yes.
And they were like, we're not continuing until our money is given to
Is
us.
given to us, yes.
And there's a certain fear to the men of God which they bring. You have to respect them. But these guys were very firm on their feet and they're like, no, they switched up on everything.
Yeah.
Do you think that is right?
I have, I personally, we have done that to one of the biggest gospel artists in this country. Of course, I can't say the name, but
Yes.
there's a time there was a concert, and after sound checking, and we are like, nope. You understand, yeah? It's because born agains are not born agains. They're born agains in some places, in some parts of their lives, going to church, showing up, showing that they dress well, and stuff like that. But deep inside, they're not born again. So as musicians, we've been really shown a very bad side by, first of all, pastors, artists, different team leaders. They will use you. They will use your gift. They will use your talent, and they won't deliver on their side. You will deliver on your side, but on their side they won't deliver. So as a Christian, still I like that part where the Bible tells us to be wise and cunning as the serpent itself. The serpent is the devil. That means the devil is every other thing apart from being stupid. So the Bible is telling us to be very wise, sharp, so it's up to you how you be wise. But yeah, so that
was right.
That will happen a lot in the music world now of late because
of the experience.
Because of the experiences we've had in the past.
Now you do not trust the word of the pastor that he has said something. I'm going to pay you this money.
Yeah, we now work with contracts and and deposits and full payments before work.
How do you work? Like if somebody calls
me, how do I work? First of all, I have I don't want to say spiritually, but my heart has to be at peace with working with you.
Okay.
So when you called me and you're like, hey, I think I need to do a podcast, because I've had quite a number of people trying to call me to do something like this, but well, it's for my good, but my heart is not at peace with it. So it's not that I'm showing off, but first of all, my heart has to be okay with that. So for every gig that I work with, my heart has to be okay with it. Second, who am I working with? Because who you're working with will add value to you, or it will really, So sometimes you need to choose. You need to know when, where, and who to work with. That helps you in terms of growth, where you're going. Because if you are with the big dogs, you will be a big dog. Yes. But in other words, you're just a puppy. If you're with puppies, nobody will tell the difference, So
if somebody calls you, they give you a deposit.
Yeah.
And then the rest is after the on the side.
So I personally, in terms of payments and everything, just like I said, how I feel at heart, I will know that, okay, if this person pays me, that's okay. If they don't pay me, still that's okay. But if my heart is okay with you, that means it has thought through everything. That this is someone I can trust. This is someone I can work with. What kind of gig are they calling me for? I know their kind of work, so I know what they're calling me for. And I know whether they deposit or not, they're going to pay in full. Yeah. So that's how I choose who to work with.
Really, the church help the people, not only even instrumentalists, the people who are fully they
devoted to church.
Yes. And how can we be sensitized? As the church really taught people enough to work, or how can it really solve on that issue?
I feel like churches are not taxed. Churches should be, and these are the most funded organizations. Let me call them organizations. Churches should be, first of all, creating jobs. Yeah, churches should be creating jobs. so that the young people who are out there who are moving, we are seeking for people who are not, who are unemployed, they're feeling down, and we are praying for God to, make ways for them, open doors for them. But we have failed to open those doors, yet God has given us the opportunities to open those doors.
Yes.
For example, a pastor will have an opportunity, will be, usually they are able to open doors, international doors for you. Like they can just make a call or just, do a cover letter for you, and then you're just like
They
that,
have
you're out of the country.
connections, yes. They have
You're
many
out of the,
connections.
but they will, most cases, they will not do that.
Or they need you to serve.
Exactly. So the church has to create jobs. It may not really pay people that much, but create jobs. How? The key people in church, the musicians, the directors, the leaders, the media team, find out what the world is paying them out there. At least pay them half of that, because the world is offering so much.
Yes.
The world is offering so much. The devil gives. The devil told Jesus, I can give
you
all this.
if you bow
Just bow down. That's what the world is giving to us. So if you do not know your God and your principles, you're going to go into the world.
Exactly.
You're going to go into the world, because I'll just play for an hour, and then I have my 300K. Church will give you 20K every week for transport. But you're there from morning, for first service, second service, third service, and then they need you for Tuesday prayer, then they need you for overnight. You understand? So I think church should create job opportunities, not to compete with what's out there, but to interest people to be around church, or to keep around church, to know that church is beneficial. Apart from us being spiritual, we are teaching you the word of God. Yes, we need the word of God, but the Bible said that do not preach to hungry people. First feed them.
Exactly. Like Jesus did.
And preach to them, so.
Where do you see yourself in like 5 years from now?
I mean, I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow, so 5 years is a long way, but so I don't know if I'll be married yet, but
I
feel like
is there an opportunity?
I feel like God has to come and just grab my hand and.
Is there an opportunity that you're single and?
I am single and very handsome, so.
Or is it unbelievable?
Because people don't trust handsome people to be single.
Yes.
Even they look at you like, you're a player, you play guitar. So where do I see myself in 5 years? Honestly, I don't know, but I know I'm going to be a great person. That
you already are.
That I don't see it yet, but I mean, I see the future. But this is one thing I believe about myself, that at one point, my country, the people I know, or the people who know me, they'll be so proud of me. They'll be like, we know that guy. They may not be able to reach me where I am and be like, hey Sammy, what's up? But they'll be like, I know that guy. I know that guy. That's where I see myself. That I do not see myself as just someone who's going to make it in life.
Do you plan doing any projects like school to teach people how?
I've been teaching, but not so much. I'm not so into teaching, but I mean, if the need arises, if it comes as a job, yes, I would do it part-time, though I wouldn't really do it full-time. But yes, I can't say I'm planning on doing projects. I am someone who works with whatever drops in my mind there at the time.
And then dropped the computer science, like.
Yeah, like if that comes, yes, I would do it.
Do you practice?
Practicing the coding and everything.
Yes.
I mean, I practiced it in school, but just like I said, I was mostly into looking for money to pay for school. I didn't practice. I didn't get so much hands-on. So the people I studied with, actually other people I studied with, the other became a DJ. He's a very famous DJ. Now you see how gifts are better than, one thing I believe is a gift will take you way further than what you've studied with. Yeah.
Find yourself that this is like,
yeah.
this is what I can do. This.
Some people are gifted in school. Some people, I know a friend of mine who has been studying for the last 15 years. That is like minus high school and everything. You know, he has like
That's a lot.
2 degrees. He has a PhD. He's doing a master's now. Then after he's like, I want to go to UK to add something. I'm like, bro, when you finish school, God is just going to take you because you are called to do that. So as long as God has called you to be in a shop, being in that small shop will take you places. Those are the miracles you asked about.
Yes,
How
yes.
what miracles
You didn't
occur?
give,
You
you
know.
didn't give them to me in details.
Yeah. It's still just like the way you say, being humble and abiding under certain leadership of certain people. That is what really elevates you.
What word can you leave to the instrumentalists out there? Who are, the people who are proud? They, you cannot talk to them.
Yeah.
Who have not even climbed
Yeah.
at a certain level, but they're really very stubborn.
Yeah.
And to those who are trying out, who have not yet mastered what
Yes.
they're doing,
Yeah.
what advice can you give to them for the ethics? Because sometimes, instrumentalists can really act in a very
Yes.
different way.
Yeah.
You're not living that side also. So what advice can you give them?
Well, for the people who are studying out there, like the young musicians, because at least I've met quite a number of those, and this is what I want to tell them is that is perfect yourself in that room, in those closed doors. Be as good as you can be, because it's from there that people will see you. And then if you do not be as good as you can in your room, then there's nothing you're going to show to the world. All the things I have done that has at least led me to play with some of the big people is that I did them already before I went out there. I did not learn them in the rehearsal rooms with them. I would just play and deliver, and they're like, oh, you're actually good, but these are things I've been doing in my
In the place where nobody sees
in the place where nobody's there to cheer you, like, you've nailed it. That is for the people who are learning. For the people who already know, but they want to now work with other people, get above the levels that they have been stuck in. Because as a musician, you can be on a plateau where you're stuck with the same people. You're just working, doing the same gigs, same amount, 50K, 100K. It's about choice. Just like I said, who do you choose to work with? You can choose and be like, I'm not going to work with this anymore. Choice is what differentiates you from other people. When you choose to be like, I'm going to choose to be a better musician, I'm going to choose to just stop playing this kind of music and play this kind of music, and that will set you apart. And there is what we call the law of attraction. Once you choose something, you will attract it because you will think about it. So if you want to work with these people, the people you want to work with, learn how they behave, learn what they want, learn what they do. Watch them, research about them. The type of music I play, it's R&B and neo soul. It's what I wanted. I know there's sebene, there's reggae, I can play all those things because I've learned them. But for me, what gets to me, it's like very contemporary, R&B, something that is really slow, soft rock. So I paid more attention to that. Even my social media started bringing me such kind of people. So I learned more of that. So that's how you choose to now get above what you've been into. And then now for God to open up doors for you even beyond your locality is I think the biggest secret is stop complaining. I wouldn't have traveled. I now remember this. I wouldn't have traveled if I remained the same complaining person. Because after complaining about a certain thing, the Spirit of God told me, no, just look for this person and, just look for them, talk to them. And I looked for this person, and because I felt like I wasn't treated well, but after doing that, now God opened more other doors, not through them, through other people, more other doors. But if I was the same complaining person, I'm like, that guy doesn't know music, or that guy doesn't know what he's playing.
will block.
You are definitely blocking the person who is going to open up doors for you. The person who will open doors for you won't even speak English.
And sometimes will not look like it.
Yeah, they won't look like it. That is one thing that keeps humbling me. That's one thing that keeps humbling me. That if you keep on complaining, you're like, this leader is always arguing. Like, you can grumble on the inside of you, but obey. That's the same thing Moses did. Moses was saying, but I can't speak, but
he was going first.
you understand, Abraham, how will I am 90, there's that grumbling you always have, but you always obey. So I always keep telling myself, stop complaining and do not take offense. Not take offense. If someone is like, there's a time I went to a sudden big church, very big church in Kampala back in the days, and one of the musicians there told me, Sammy, dude, you don't even know how to hold a guitar. And this person can't even remember, but me, I remember their face, and I know them, and I don't think they've been on even a quarter of the stages I've been on to, but I do not actually hate them, because I remember that comment, that it pushed me so much to learn the type of music they play, to a point that I just wanted to prove a point that, bro, but
Yes.
that was actually God bringing a situation in my life that made me feel so bad, that pushed me to get out of that comfortable zone. I'm like, okay, if I'm a left-handed guitarist, let me prove to these guys that I can actually do way much more than, So I think those are the three things, I can leave to those guys. Work so hard in your room, in your personal space, and choose the people you want to work with. When you choose those people, then you follow them, you listen to them, you stalk them, and then three, stop complaining and avoid offense. However much you get offended, argue, go back home, cry, shout, come back, do the same thing.
Wow, it has been such a great time. I wish we had all the time, but yeah, we are with a big man, and I'm so privileged.
I am a tiny guy.
Yeah, I'm so privileged. I'm a senior grandpa. Anyway, this is the Bible Study Cafe, and it partners with the LTAC podcast, the Worship and Chat. It's a beautiful place. We have the prayer room. The prayer room is. Have you seen the prayer room?
No, I haven't. Oh yes, I can see. I can see
the menu is full of
it's a beautiful place. Yes,
and a lot of good events, Christian events.
Right.
If you have anything you want to host,
okay.
It's a very beautiful place.
I mean, I've been watching quite a number of things happening here, so it's my first time, and it's really beautiful.
Yeah. So they've been supporting the podcast.
Wow.
They offered us the place. And
wow.
Yeah, they support every work of it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm really glad to have them.
I'm humble.
I was really amazed. People know you, very many people. Musicians.
I mean, and this is my first, podcast interview, whatever that is. So.
They saw you with the clips. I think I posted them. When we had a trip.
Yeah. Like, I haven't even seen them.
Hey.
Oh wow!
I told myself that I'm with the celebrity.
I think I'm a local celebrity. I think I should.
Okay, thank you for moving with us, and if God allows, we can have another moment.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
We can come back and talk about relationships.
Yes,
talk about
I really
God.
want to know it, because at that point of your singing, it's unbelievable.
Because you see, as musicians, our biggest problem is women. Yes. It's lust, money, sex and women. So how to balance that and get you're a musician, rather you're a minister. So how do you balance those? So
how can you keep yourself
and actually
beautiful and you're
yes, you're beautiful, you're handsome, And for me, I think one of the things that God helped me was that I used to volunteer with Scripture Union and would talk to young people about abstaining and stuff like that, and also, keeping pure. So most times I would be convicted of, this is what I keep telling the young people, so am I going to do it? So it would, so, yeah.
because instrumentalists
Yeah.
with that gender.
You play a thing and the woman is like,
It's
"Ah,
like-
yeah, yeah, yeah." You see that thing of Michael Jackson just standing and people are just fainting, you know? Because in
music
this,
is very spiritual.
yeah. There's a time I was playing a worship. I posted a video and it was trending on TikTok. And this pastor was like, I don't know this pastor. It was my first time to go to that church. He was like, you played, and at a certain point, because he doesn't know musical terms, he was like, there's a frequency you played, and I felt goosebumps on my body.
Yes, it
And
happens.
yeah, so that means there are notes, there are frequencies we can tap into as musicians that can speak to people, that someone would just come up, because after playing that, they just collected there, like in 1-2 minutes they collected like over 900K just to give me. It's because people's hearts were touched in a different way.
Yes.
On Friday I was playing with a friend of mine, just me and the guitar, and he gave me a solo to play. I looped and I started playing, and he cried. And he told me, I'm sorry, just keep playing. He told me, I got caught up in my emotions when you were playing. And me, I knew, because once you know what you're doing, once you know what music is all about, it is beyond physical. That's why I said the music is a language that goes beyond the physical, you know. So you can play someone into lust, you can play someone into giving, you can play
that is a
someone
revelation.
into falling in love with you, can play someone into worshiping God.
Yes.
That's how the demons left Saul.
You carry a certain spirit
Yes.
through that instrument.
Yeah.
To the people.
So
is
that's
very
where
deep.
that's where the secular comes in and the Christian comes in.
Wow.
You know, so
That is very deep.
so
That is
I'm,
very deep.
and God gave us the will. So as much as He wants to use you, without you singing, but just your instrument, He gave you the will to choose Him to use you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That is
so
profound. We have to
yeah.
come back for another day. Our time is really spent.
Yep.
Thank you for really moving with us. I'm Solomon Palanyi with the LTAC podcast, and we have the worship on church. And I'm at the Bible Study Cafe. You should come and visit, come and read the Bible, come and feel a certain atmosphere here. Thank you so much.
I'm humble,
I'm
man.
so humble.
I'm humble.
I hope to see you many more times.
Amen.
Okay, I'm really humble.
Sure.
Okay. Yes.